Up on the hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed, yeah. My father said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now, yeah. There was a time I met a girl of a different kind. We ruled the world, thought I'd never lose her out of sight. We were so young, I think of her now and then. I still hear the songs, reminding me of a friend. Up on the hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak. I still remember how it all changed, yeah. My father said, don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now, yeah.
I'm in the mood today. I'm super excited about this live stream, guys. Welcome. Hello, guys, and welcome. Woohoo! Hello, guys, and welcome to this live stream today. We're gonna be talking about the DJI Air 2S, the camera, the footage, everything that we've been taking. Hello guys and welcome in the chat. Hello, welcome everyone. Oh. Keep it easy, guys. We're gonna have a good time today. Excited to share this with you. I honestly have not listened to this song before, but I hope now it's a chorus that I can take my sunglasses on again. I hope it's coming. For me, guys. Thank you all, guys. Well, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I've been reading the chat, some questions, a few things. Hello everyone in the chat. I know some names, most of them. Hello, let me go. One step ahead. Drone Produções, bem-vindo. Kim, Tommy, who else? Drone Viral, Hanfito, Niresh, Dustin, Drone Viral, yeah. Mike, Mr. Marble saying that I lied again with the Air 2S. Niresh, Swedish House Mafia, there you go, buddy. Hello, Steve again. Hello, ONG, Siripong, Mike, Saw, Kai. Yeah. Hello, guys, everyone. Today, I know it's a little bit strange that I'm on a Wednesday doing this, but I told you that I'm moving, and I told you that right now my whole apartment is empty, like everything but this room. I left everything here. Tomorrow or later when I finish the stream, I'll have to, put everything into the bags and everything and transport everything tomorrow. I really don't know how I'm gonna do this. No Twitch today, no. This is the first thing that I wanted to say today. I'm not streaming on Twitch anymore. I honestly don't care. And I told you last time that, I don't know, I saw that somehow the communication with you guys is much better on YouTube than on Twitch. On Twitch it's like, the only way that I can communicate with you guys is by doing lives, and if I would be doing lives every day, that would make sense. But as I'm doing once a week, maybe I'll do twice soon, but doesn't make much sense, guys, that having a Twitch so that I can just... Here on YouTube I can send you, posts, I can have community votings, I have shorts, I have stories, I have everything, and it's much easier to communicate and to let you know what I'm doing, to show you stuff, and so no Twitch anymore. Hey Anthony, hey Sinkina Media, how would you compare the Air2S camera with the Phantom 4 Pro? There's no way any of the Mavic's Air's cameras are getting even close to the Phantom camera. The V2. The Phantom 4 Pro V2. Wear my glass. You know the problem when I'm wearing my sunglasses is that I don't see the screens. I do see this one where I have where I do have the chat and I have also OBS and stuff, but the screen that I must be looking when I'm talking to you, about stuff, I don't see the screen. But leave the thumb, guys. You helped me with that. You know that you helped me a lot with that, so leave the thumb. And I must say, we've been... Hold on. Listen to this, guys. So, I must say that we are pretty done with all the DJI Air2S content that I wanted to do. So, it may be time to do a crash test. Okay, here's the thing. You guys know I told you and I showed you last time, like a few weeks ago, that I had received this. Autel sent me an email and it told me, hey, we want you to do a crash test. And I was like, okay. They're not paying, they're not doing anything. Just like, so I have the freedom to tell and to say whatever I want, like I always do. Because that's the whole point of We Talk UAV, right? So the thing is that we did, this week we've done, what's it today, Wednesday, we did Monday and Tuesday we did 2 or 3 more videos. What's that? Oh my god, a giant spider. I just saw a giant spider. Well, whatever. We did 2 or 3 videos. Chivo is editing them right now. He's probably just editing the first one, and we've been comparing the Autel, this one. This is the 6K 1-inch, and I have a secret for you guys about the 6K thing that I'll let you know in this live stream. But I gotta put that. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right away. I know we're here for the Air2S, the Mavic 2 Pro, and I want to show you guys that I have it ready here. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this video, and I did a few notes together with Chivo in order to. I don't know if you've seen this video, but we've done a series of tests. Okay, and we're gonna be going through them and showing, and I'll be giving you my opinion and all that. Okay, but I want to tell you one thing. So I need this music. I don't know if some of you guys are super true Autel lovers. And if you are, you may know this already, but... Look at this here, guys. You see it says 6K Ultra HD, right? And everyone knows that the Autel Evo2 6K 1-inch sensor drone shoots in 6K. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. We did a comparison of this drone and the Air2S camera. And they are exactly the same resolution. Hold on. You may not understand this, but where's the Air2S? Does it have any like 5.4K? You guys know? I'll be answering the questions in a sec, but do you guys know that the DJI has been promoting the Air2S like it shoots in 5.3 or 5.4K, right? And Autel has been promoting their drone like it shoots in 6K, but we did a side-by-side comparison, and we didn't really know this. Maybe you did know, but I didn't. And I'm pretty sure you didn't either. But when we put the... Chivo just sent me a message this morning and said, hey, do you want to know something interesting? And I was like, what? Okay, tell me. And he was like, do you know that the 6K footage from the Autel Evo2 Pro 6K 1-inch sensor drone is exactly the same resolution as the Air2S 5.4K? And I was like, no way, brother. I need proof. Either you show me a pic or I don't believe it. And he sent it to me. And not only this, but actually the Air2S drone, this 5.4K has actually 2 more lines of pixels than the Autel drone. Meaning that it's pretty much the same, but the Air2S resolution is a little bit higher, just a tiny bit higher and bigger than Autel's. So. Is Autel lying to us? I don't know. But I didn't like this. I didn't quite like this. But you will eventually see the video. And honestly, as we were shooting, I didn't really say anything because I didn't know. So the video that I'm publishing will be just plain footage. One, you see good use of Stream Deck. Yeah, guys, this is thanks to you. Thank you for allowing me to have a Stream Deck. This is hello, Robert. Before I keep going, let me see that I have seen a couple of things here. You love the Spotify playlist, but would love to see the Russian party song. Okay, I will be including that. Because the problem is I don't know the name. Because it's in Russian, so once I find it, I will include that, okay? What else do we have here? What's the price for the glasses? It depends. You have the link in the description. I think the cheapest one I have for 49 euros and the most expensive is for 79 or 89. So I don't really know. But yeah, we do ship worldwide and blah blah, right? So if you guys are interested in any of those sunglasses, links in the description. Okay, drone viral. In one of your comparison videos, why some footage of Mavic Air 2 looks better than Air 2S, at least to my eyes, and in comments many more saying same thing. Okay, here's the thing, guys. It's amazing, and you'll see the comments now in this video. Like, you see, right? Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air 2, and Air 2S. And honestly, I'll try to be as objective as possible. Like, I don't want to say this is good or bad. I'll try to go and say this is more detailed. This right here has more dynamic range. You know, I'll try to be a little bit like this. Not like this is bad, this is good, okay? But if you go through the comments of this video, you'll see like someone saying the Mavic 2 Pro is much better. Then you go jump into the next comment. The Mavic Air 2 is much better, I don't understand. Then the next comment is like, the Air 2S is much better, clearly. And I go like, I don't know. So this is very subjective, okay? Awesome, Luke! Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the stream, and awesome that you have your Air 2S. Maybe if you have some questions, charge it and activate it, because it's gonna take a couple of hours. So while we do that, maybe you can stick here with us watching this, right? What else? Obrigado, Drone Produções. Bem-vindo ao live. The low light capability of the Pro 2 is unreal. So yeah, we'll go. Actually, I have where are my notes? Because I did some notes. It's just a 3-minute video, guys, but I can. Let me tell you that I can give you like 2 hours content of this 3-minute video, honestly. And if you really care about the quality, oh my god, where's this? If you really care about the quality of this video, of the 3 drones, I will let you here. Okay, here are my notes. I will let you. Let me put it here. Oh, this is a big. Yeah, like this. I'll have my notes here. So we'll go and cover it, okay? If you only had a drone that shoots 1080p 30 FPS, I would still be happy, but DJI took that many steps higher, yeah. And I've seen some people actually saying that the Mavic 3 is gonna have 8K. I'm not sure, but getting back to this, what I told you about the 6K and 5.4K and all that, 2 things, guys. 2 things. 2 things actually. The Air 2S and the Autel Evo2 Pro 6K having exactly the same resolution means that either Autel could have named their drone 5.4K drone, which doesn't make it cool, you know, in eyes of the consumer or the buyer. No, I don't have the Mavic 3. I promise, I swear. I don't even know if it exists. And the Air 2S having the same resolution, there are 2 things. First, Autel may have like giving us, you know, misleading information about that 6K. And the Air 2S, sorry, could have named also the Air 2S like a 6K drone. They have not done it. They have decided not to do that. And that can mean either because they are a little bit more, you know, honest than Autel. But, you know, being DJI, and not saying that these brands are dishonest or something like this, but you know how they play with the flight time, battery times and all that, so I honestly think that they are saving that 6K, at least, for the Mavic 3. So we can at least expect a 6K on the Mavic 3, if it comes, right? You think I might have left the Mavic 3 on the background? I wish, buddy. You wanted to test me if I go like... No, but I don't. Because I don't, honestly, and I swear by my life, I promise you that I don't even know if the drone will exist. Right now, I don't have any info, I promise that, so... There's Gagak. Welcome, and guys, leave the thumb, please. Should I buy the Mini 2 or should I save up more for the Air 2S? Well, there's a price difference, like double the price, right? Remember, guys, if you're buying the Air 2S, save enough money to buy the combo, because without the combo, it doesn't make much sense. At least in the mid-run or in the long run. So, if you cannot go and buy the Air 2S with the combo, just go for the Mini 2, it's fine. It's more than fine. I know you're joking, buddy, I know you're joking. So, how can a puppet fly? I don't have thumbs. I don't know, buddy. Let me jump. Oh, Creator Labs. Hold on. Creator Labs. Where's my alert? Do you guys hear the music good? I never know. I hope it's... I'm waiting for the alert for Creator Labs. Woo!
Creator Labs donated 100 rupees. Alex is back with his great knowledge of drones and cool personality. Mavic Air 2s or wait for Mavic 3.
Creator Labs, honestly, Mavic 3, if that ever comes, it will be in a few months. And I don't know, guys, how much money you're saving, but Mavic 3 is gonna be expensive. Okay? But we're here, and you know why we're here, guys? Creator Labs made this possible, and I love spending time with you doing this. Thank you, Creator Labs, that's for you. Come on! Thank you very much, Creator Labs. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. You know that, let me say it every time I say I get the first super chat. Guys, I don't monetize this videos. So everything you can do for me is, of course, leave a thumb if you enjoy the content. I'll try to be as entertainful as possible. So, thank you very much, Creator Labs. I must say, I told you last time that thanks to your super chats, I was saving for a new light, because look at this. This is like the worst, but it's all I have, right? And it's been working until now. But I really need to improve this a little bit, and maybe today I'll have enough to get one of those lights to give you guys a much better experience. And
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I do so I like.
thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Creator Labs. I still think I don't know what your name is, so thank you, Creator Labs. Well, guys, it's the time. It's the time to jump. I'm gonna turn off the music for this video, because Chivo sometimes, most of the time, he uses good music, but in this video he just definitely didn't choose a good song. Okay, so again, small introduction: Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air 2 and Air 2s side by side. For people, some people have been asking, how was this video shot? Like, was it like all together or a different time of the day? Of course, it was first one drone, then another drone, and then another drone. The max time we took for each drone was about 5 minutes. So the max difference that can be from one drone to another is 5 or 10 minutes, okay? So, only footage, no talking, sometimes. Okay, so the first thing will be, what was it, like, I've said, max resolution of those 3 drones in auto mode, video, okay? And we thought that it was interesting to have something like this. It's much easier to do this when you're not flying, because this way we can have exactly the same shots, right? Brave time, love it, thanks Dustin. Marticam, the Mavic to zoom has a place in my heart, it's an amazing drone. So I wanted to do this just on a bench, like putting on a table the drone, and then shooting exactly the same. And we have here something very actually problematic for drones, which is like sunlight, blown sky, grass, trees, shadows and lights. So it's like the worst that you can give to a camera, okay, it would be this type of shot. So it's what I think. Bye bye Origami, thanks buddy for being here. So here we can clearly see the capabilities of the camera, because and much more important, when having a focused object, or let's say when having something in front of the camera, we'll see how it performs with the focus, the autofocus. Does it blur the background? How does this work, right? So I thought that this was the most interesting, to take out the best of the camera. Okay, so Then we take the Air 2S. Hold on. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, we have the 5.4K 25p downscale to 4K to fit the video. Then we do the same with the 4K 25. And then we do the same with the Mavic Air 2. And then we do the same off with the Mavic 2 Pro. Now, I know that some people, look at the difference. Some people may think that this Mavic 2 Pro image is worse because it's like more blown and all that, but we're gonna be talking about this when we see this. Okay, hold on, let me, how can I do this so that I don't bother you? Like, if I put this somewhere here, something like this. Okay, something like this, right? It's not too awful. What's up, Fly Zone? Welcome, buddy. This is another interesting question. Does the DJI Mavic 2 Pro have the same camera as the Air 2S? No, definitely not. The Mavic Pro, the 2 Pro still has a few capabilities. It's a camera developed by Hasselblad. The colors are developed by Hasselblad. It has the 10-bit D-Log M and all that, which means a billion colors. It's overall a much better camera still than the Air 2S, okay? And yeah, okay. Let's see what we can actually see in this 3. Let me do it big. Hold on. I know right now the stream is not in 4K, but well, you gotta trust my voice, guys. 3 on Air 2 looks crisp, clear, focused, and better colored. Okay, let me know. Right now, let me see in the chat. I know you're like 10 or 15 seconds behind me because of the latency of the stream, but let me know. Just write in the chat Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air 2 or Air 2S for the image that you like the most out of this 3. Okay? I'm really interested in seeing. Let me know in the comments, please. And while I do this, while I wait for you. Oh, buddy.
Creato Labs donated 100 rupees. My name is Prince Xavier, buddy. If I had a brother, then I hope he should have been like you. I will wait for Mavic 3. Maybe new concept and design.
Thank you so much, Creator Labs. Prince Xavier. Your name is Xavier? You know that Chivo's name is Xavier, right? So you have the same name as Chivo, buddy. Thank you so much. Then I hope he should have been like you. Oh, man, thank you so much. I do have a lot of problems, man. Like in my life, but thanks, I appreciate. So you will wait for the Mavic 3. Okay, I believe for after summer sometime it should be out there. So look at this. Anthony Air 2. Oh, I'll do the dance in a sec for you, Creator Labs. Thanks, Prince Xavier. Thank you very much. So Air 2. Day One Adventure says Mavic 2 Pro. Saw says Mavic Air 2. John says Mavic 2 Pro. And if we would have like 10,000 people watching, I would tell you they would say like 30% Mavic 2 Pro, 30% Mavic Air 2, 30% Air 2S. Okay? But I'll try. I'm surprised right now nobody is saying Air 2S. Skrillex sounded low. I'll do the dance in a sec. For Prince Xavier. Prince Xavier, I love the name, man. What is the drone most valuable to price? Honestly, DJI has been. Flyzone says Air 2S. So again, as I'm telling you, everyone would say something completely different. Okay, yeah, 33.3% exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. About the question for the value, it's very interesting because 200 is on Steam already. I don't know what you mean, Robert. It's not. No, I wish it's Indian. Prince Xavier, you're from India, right? Is this Indian rupees? Cable girl, Dixie said Indian rupees, right? Thank you very much. What was I saying about these 3 drones, right? The interesting Xavier. Okay, Xavier. Prince Xavier. Awesome. So, we can clearly see, first of all, when talking about, let's talk about dynamic range. Let's talk about how much detail there is in every single one of these shots. Okay. The first thing, I really don't know if you can see it, but what may look a little bit like blurry here and not so good here and super crisp clear here, doesn't mean that the quality is better. On the contrary, actually the Mavic Air 2 has the most digital smartphone look, which means that it has the highest sharpness. By sharpness, it means that right out of the, like in auto, without touching or going up and down in sharpness and all that, I'm more leaning towards don't liking it, because I always like to put everything in post if there is something missing or lacking. Meaning that sharpness, saturation, contrast, everything like that, it's always better to have less than more. Okay? It's a little bit like, this is not like super objective, okay? This is not like, this is like this. But it's like, if I want to edit something, I really want to have it less than more, because once you have more out of the camera, taking the sharpness out in post, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard, okay? Camera view, field of view is something that we're also going to be talking. So, the Mavic Air 2 overall has the sharpest image in auto mode, which may look good to some people, but again, it gives us a little bit this kind of cheap smartphone look or feeling. Okay, this is not necessarily good, but we can see that the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2S have less of that sharpness. So in case we would have more, we can go still in post and touch that, okay? Hey Freddy, thanks for joining from Norway. Now, for me, honestly, the Mavic Air 2 is a little bit over sharpened. I don't know how to say this properly, but for me it's a little bit too much, okay? And hold on. Also, when talking about dynamic range, you know, I don't know guys if you know what the dynamic range is, but dynamic range means okay, how can I say this easy in a single sentence? A camera, the more dynamic range it has, the better, because it retains more information in the shadows, in the lights and everything, okay? This means that if you're having like a very complicated image like this one, where you have, as I told you before, a tree, sun, shadows, grass, blown skies and everything, a higher dynamic range camera will be able to retain way more information in those little leaves that we have here in the grass and all that. Now, the Mavic Air 2 in order, because it doesn't have that, because the sensor is also smaller, you know, that's a half-inch sensor, and the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2S both have a 1-inch sensor. The size of the sensor always gives you normally more dynamic range. Okay, so the Air 2 with a smaller size, I don't want to really get too technical, but I hope that you can understand this. Hi Ben, hi Robert, hi Jeff, thanks for joining from Oregon. Now, in order, when you don't have that much of dynamic range, you add more contrast. And as you can see here, especially, do you see my mouse? You're not seeing my mouse? Hold on. Now you're seeing my mouse, right? Okay. Especially in the shadows, for example, here, this small tree in the back and some of the leaves, you just have black. Where you can see much more detail right here on the Air 2S, and even much more detail on the Mavic 2 Pro. That's due to the dynamic range. Now, when you don't have that, the image may look a little bit too contrasted. which means that the Mavic Air 2 is not only a little bit more sharp than the other twos, but also more contrasted. Now, it's still a good image, but the problem is, if you want to get really like pro into color correcting and color grading, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated because you have less information in the black. So you just have black painted on your screen. It's black. On the Mavic 2 Pro and on the Air 2S, I have much more information and I can paint those a little bit easier. Okay. I love the HDR mode on my Air 2, which has none of the other drones. That's true. And the HDR actually is also one of the things that I believe DJI has saved for an upcoming Mavic 3. Okay. But this is between you and me, guys. Now, once I said this, still, one of the most interesting things and good about the Air 2, I'm gonna go first with one drone, then with another drone, and then with the other drone, okay? What I've seen among all the different, okay, this is field of view, we're gonna be talking about this. Slo-Mo, we're gonna be talking. In manual, okay, let's still talk about the auto mode, okay? What I've seen is that the Air 2, that is the drone in the middle, right here, has the most neutral and natural colors. If you compare it in terms of colors, in auto mode, out of the camera, the Mavic 2 Pro seems a little bit like too warm, and the Air 2S too cold. And right in between the Air 2, right, seems to me at least like the most natural. Like, it looks more color graded, neutral than the other two. Okay, so this is something good, because again, the base from which you're starting to edit your videos will be much more neutral. And now again, you can play around with that. The DJI drones have some settings where you can change sharpness, you can change contrast, you can change everything. But I'm talking now about everything in zero and everything in auto. Like, what does the drone give you in auto mode? Okay, this is very important to highlight and to you know, keep saying. Now, this would be in the auto mode. About the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic Air 2S, like someone has said in the chat, let's jump directly onto the Air 2S. Auto 4K. In this case it's downscaled, but the field of view, for me... Hold on, let me go back a sec. I can lower the music, yes, definitely, hold on. Because I was asking if it was something like this, Freddy. Creator Lab says we can use ND filters for such problems. ND filters actually work for something completely different. Not completely different, but what ND filters will allow you is to block the amount of light getting into the sensor, which means that when you're flying out there and it's a super sunny day, you'll have to go into the shutter speed, like a very high shutter speed. For example, 1/2000th of a second shutter speed. The problem with that is in order to have a well-exposed image, right? But the problem of this is that when you're flying up there, let's say in 25, 24 or 30 FPS, but in order to have a well-exposed image, you'll have to go into 1/1000th of a second in shutter speed, 1/2000 or even more. So in order that you can expose properly and put that shutter speed down and put it down to 150, 160, you use ND filters. ND filters, I've said it a million times, they work exactly the same way that sunglasses. You know, you go out there from a dark place, you go out there and to the bright day, and then you have to be like this all the time because sun is too much. So you put this on, and then all of a sudden you can see much better. Well, ND filters kind of make exactly the same, right? I'm hearing some screams, but I don't know what this is. ND filters make exactly the same, so they block light so that you can lower the shutter speed, okay? This was Russian music. Yeah, man. I love Russian mandarinki. Now, getting back, thank you for the question because this was a really good one. Now, getting back here, the field of view is much more interesting on the Air 2S because it's wider. Some people may like it, some people may not. The Mavic Air 2 is a little bit thinner, as you can see, like narrower, more narrow. and the Mavic 2 Pro is even more narrow. So eventually, when comparing all three of them, you can see that from left to right, the tree is much bigger on the Mavic 2 Pro because the field of view is more narrow. Then the Air 2 goes a little bit smaller and wider, and the Air 2S has the widest field of view. Now, this is entirely subjective. Some people may like a more narrow depth field of view in terms of having a more cinematic look, because it's complicated to have, like, for example, a GoPro, like fisheye lens, and have cinematic shots, right? You gotta have always the more narrow and the more wide open. You can open the aperture, you can blur more out the backgrounds. It goes more cinematic. But field of view, personally, for drones, right now I may be liking more the Air 2S field of view. All three of them are fine, and they're not that much. There's not that much of a difference. Okay. What else? What else? Still talking about the Air 2S in auto. The sharpness to me seems the more natural, in this case, the best, because the Mavic Air 2 has too much. It's too sharpened, and the Mavic 2 Pro has a little bit too less. Like, I'm missing some, really, as some people have said it. In this case, it's also because they may be blurring out a little bit the background, but there's always, I remember when shooting the Mavic 2 Pro, sometimes I have to add some sharpness later in post. But the Air 2S for me has the perfect sharpness in this case, okay? What else? What else? Okay, the D-Log we're gonna be talking later. And then the Mavic 2 Pro has the warmest and the warmest colors. Maybe also they are close to, for example, at a sunny day. I told you before the most neutral colors are on this one, but the warmest colors are definitely on the Mavic 2 Pro. And I know many people like this, like a lot, right? And again, the best dynamic range. The best dynamic range is on the Mavic 2 Pro, because we have the most detail. For example, let's compare. I don't know, guys, if in the stream you can see this, but for example, this plant right here. Oh no, look at this. Look at, for example, the background right here. Air 2 for sure, and the Air 2S is not bad actually. I can see this building right here in the back, but I have more detail here. You know, this windows, I don't know if you can see them, this windows here on the Mavic 2 Pro. You can kind of see they're blown here. And the Mavic, it's true. The Mavic 2 Pro, in this case, it only blows this part right here. The Mavic Air 2S has blown half of the sky. The Mavic Air 2 has blown much of the sky. You can see the sky difference. For example, also, you have more information on this blue sky of the Mavic 2 Pro than on this kind of white sky of the Mavic Air 2, and the Air 2S is actually white here, kind of gray here, then blue. So dynamic range overall, the Mavic 2 Pro has the most. Right, guys? Yes, John. With ND filters you get motion blur like in cinema movies, basically because you lower the shutter speed. And also in the course that I have, guys, I always tell you the magic, the thumb rule that is well known is if you shoot in 25, 24 or 30 FPS, double the shutter speed. If you can maintain this, you'll have the most cinematic, most blurry effect, because you guys know that when we see a movie, when we see a good movie, when we see a movie, you don't see everything like super crisp like in stop motion, right? It's like when you do like this, you don't see the hand perfectly moving. There's a natural movement, and in order to get to that movement, you have to have a shutter speed like double the oh, sorry, I hit accidentally the ESC. ISO, guys, my recommendation is ISO always at 100 if you can keep that, and just go up if you really are shooting at night. And with this drones, don't go higher than 4 or 800, because at 800 it starts, the noise starts. And we're gonna be talking about this later in this video. We do have night shots here, Don't go higher than 800 because you'll start having noise in the image and then it goes like digital and... Okay guys, so let's jump on to the next. See, I told you, we're like 30 minutes talking about... Now, interesting, Slo-Mo. Many people of you guys are caring about Slo-Mo and 4K 60 and all that. Now, let's watch this. This is interesting, guys, because the Mavic 2 Pro doesn't have 4K 60. Because they didn't want to have 4K 60. They wanted to keep that for the Phantom. And now you have an outdated Mavic 2 Pro, but yeah! Smash that like button. Thanks, day one! Between those three, which has the most photo distortion? We'll got... later in this video, we do have some photos comparisons, okay? So we talk about the photo in a sec. This summer, my family and I are planning to go to Hawaii and I hope to get some good shots with my Mini 2 at the beach. Any suggestions? Get yourself some filters if you don't have them. At least ND32 or 64 and... When using the Mavic 2 Pro, it gives off the professional look. In your opinion, does the Air 2S and Mavic Air 2 give the same professional look? The Air 2S is really close, I have to say it. And you know, the Mavic Air 2 still, if you know how to shoot, use the right settings, as I'm telling you, be as cinematic as possible, and knowing how to color correct first and how to color grade later, you'll be able to get a really good and decent kind of professional look. Still, you'll have some parts of the video or some parts of your footage where you'll see a difference with the Mavic 2 Pro. And the Air 2S is kind of there in between. It handles better most of the scenarios, but still is not right where the Mavic 2 Pro is. So 4K 60 again, the Mavic 2 Pro does not have 4K 60, so we just compared this two. And look at this. This is what I said in my review. I said, guys, the Air 2S crops insanely the sensor when shooting in 4K 60. Now look at the difference. Both drones are at the same exact position. And look how you see one of the trees on the left side and how you see the one on the right side. There's a big crop. Now some people may hate this, and I totally understand this. Right? If you have the iPad Pro, you can import 6K from SD card direct to files. If you try to import 6K to photos, it won't work, but you can edit no issues if importing to files. Okay, I have no idea, Steve, about iPad because I don't have one, so I don't really know. Yeah, that cropping, I mean, that cropping is a little bit too much, guys, right? Let me see my, hold on, let me see my notes. Yes, definitely the Air 2, at least at 4K 60, does look a little bit, in my opinion, better than the 4K 60 on the Air 2S. Honestly, but that's my opinion. Hi Drone Viral, welcome! I know it's off the topic, but how does the Air 2S compare with the Evo2 Pro? Well, I talked about this in the beginning of the stream. For those guys that are joining, basically, and very summed up, I said that I've been comparing actually the 2 Pro 6K 1-inch sensor with the Air 2S. We did the video yesterday, and surprisingly, the 6K of the Autel Evo2 Pro is actually a 5.4K, which is exactly the same resolution than the Air 2S. So in terms of resolution, both have the exact same resolution. Being still the Air 2S slightly bigger, which I told you, naughty Autel for telling me 6K Ultra HD, because it's not a real 6K. But okay, that apart, you'll see this in our comparison video coming. But I told you that she will send me like the files saying, hey, you know that the 6K of the Autel is not a real 6K, right? It's a 5.4. And I said, can you compare it please to the Air2S? And it's exactly the same resolution. So, and the exactly same sensor size. Now, if you want to see the comparison of the footage, it's going to be interesting. And I hope maybe probably this Sunday we'll have the video published about the comparison. Chivo is editing right now, okay? So, welcome guys, everyone joining new. Welcome. What else? The best Slo-Mo. Yeah, well, I do like more the Air2 in this case. Now, let's keep going because... field of view. What do you think about this, guys? What do you think about this? Mavic Air 2 has better image quality for the apartment building in the background. Hey, P. Jordy, welcome! Orange mess on the Evo. DJI is smart for releasing both Mavic Air and Air 2S to compete with Autel. Now the upcoming Mavic 3 Pro will be in another class. Yeah, absolutely. But I hope that Autel is also releasing an Autel 3, honestly. Please, Hans, don't spam the damn chat. Honestly, some of the mods will just block the question. You guys know, yeah, just keep going. You guys know that I try to answer all the questions. So, hold on. Thanks, Steve. Thank you very much. Don't spam, guys. Come on. Okay, thank you very much. Now, talking about the field of view, again, the field of view is honestly super subjective. So this depends entirely on you. But I thought that this was interesting for you guys to see. And Chivo made an amazing job here. And of course the Air 2S 5.4K has the biggest resolution, but look at this, it's not much more than the 4K of the Air 2. It's not much more, but there's some difference, and of course the more resolution the better if the sensor is good, right? And then we have the Mavic 2 Pro. Look at the difference, and then the Air 2S in 4K 60, which is insane how much it crops. Look at this, guys, it's this square right here, it's insane. And then the Mavic 2 Pro 4K HQ, which is like the craziest. Now again, this is entirely subjective. You may like whatever you want. I told you that normally the wider the field of view, the more of course you get into the picture, but the less cinematic from what we're used to it is. So usually the more narrow the field of view, the more cinematic it looks. However, this is entirely subjective, okay? The Mavic, you know what would have been interesting to see here? The field of view of the Mavic to zoom. Because the field of view of the Mavic to zoom is, when zoomed in, even smaller than this Mavic 2 Pro 4K HQ. And this gives you a really awesome look. Let's keep going, guys. Why did DJI do it? Well, normally, when you are looking for a 4K 60, they crop the sensor, but also smartphones, the iPhones, they do it too. It's because this way they can look at this. You have the, let's say, the Air 2 as the second square here, 4K 25. No, hold on. Exactly, the Mavic Air 2S with 4K 25p. It's the widest field of view. Now, when you put 60, normally they crop the sensor so the stabilization works better. You know how actually stabilizations work, right? If you have this and you start walking or flying, and due to winds the cameras do like this, it will make that if you crop a little bit out, the software can still move it and move it the same way that the camera is moving, and you won't notice. That's what stabilizers do, right? So in pretty much all the cameras, when you go 4K 60, pretty much all, not all of them, they crop it a little bit at least to have a much smoother stabilization, right? Now, this is too much. I honestly don't know why they did it so much. And on a drone, I mean, it's not like the Pocket 2 or it's not like the Osmo Action or the GoPro where you're literally like running with it like this, where you really need a super aggressive stabilization and you need to crop a lot, the sensor, right? It's a drone, and I mean, it's flying. So unless there's like super heavy wind where the drone really like flies away or something, stabilization is still important, of course, but it shouldn't be that aggressive. So I really don't know, and I don't understand why they have cropped it so much. Every time that I go like this, I think this is some reason. Like when I don't understand something about DJI, this is some reason for the future model. I always think like this, and I most of the time am right. Like, okay, why is the FPV drone so weak in terms of the body for the next generation? The next generation will be with carbon fiber. Or why have they cropped this so much? I don't know, because the Mavic Air 3 or the Mavic 3 Pro will have a 6K 60 or something like this. And you know, they always give you this kind of arguments. So now this is Chivo completely out of focus. Honestly, 1080p's on DJI drones have always been like the worst they've done. Look at this quality, it's terrible. I know this is upscaled to 4K, but still. Now Chivo is on focus and it's terrible. It's completely terrible, right? Still, the most natural Slo-Mo for me in auto, the most natural is the Air2S. So for me, in this case, it looks best on the Air2S. Let's see this part again. In this specific scenario, with this light and this shadows and everything in the background, I do believe that the 1080p 120 frames per second in this case of the Air2S are the smoothest. Again, I don't recommend using this 1080p 120 frames per second unless you're looking for something really specific, like really specific. Yeah, like Nira says from before, you want to keep the Air 2 in the game and don't destroy it, and still gives people some reasons to not purchase the Air 2S. Just give them something on the Air 2 that the Air 2S does not have, right? And this was one of the reasons for the cropping too. Don't spam, give Alex time to answer that chat questions. If he doesn't feel like answering it, then that is okay. And a spam in the chat, I will remove it by reporting it as an unwanted content. Thank you, Robert. You deserve what I just made. Again, 1080p not recommended unless you are looking for something super specific that you need those 120 frames or 240 frames. Apart from that, DJI honestly sucks at 1080p Slo-Mo. They really suck. I'm sorry about this, but I don't like this. I think that's very tough quality. Now we get into the manual, okay? Here, we didn't use filters because again, when you start putting filters into the game, that wouldn't make too fair the comparison, because depending on the brand that made the filter, it may have more aberration. The other one has more warmer colors. So we decided to do this test without the filters. Okay, and so we had to go a little bit up in the shutter speed. In this case, you can see 160 shutter speed, 5000 Kelvin in terms of white balance, because it was the most appropriate for this. And let's see what happens. Now again, in this case, the Mavic 2 Pro, guys, has a manual aperture, which means that you can play around with that, and normally the sweet spot, the golden spot of cameras that have manual aperture, which mirrorless cameras like the one that I'm using for the stream, and most of the cameras have apertures that you can open or close. It's somewhere around f4, f5, f6, more or less, okay? And this helps you that, for example, the Mavic 2 Pro goes up to f11. This means that you can use, for example, f11 in a sunny day, and maybe, depending on the conditions, you won't need a filter, which is awesome. Now, the Mavic Air 2 and the Air 2S don't have a manual aperture, which means that you will eventually, 99.9% of the time, have to use a filter. So we decided to keep the Mavic 2 Pro also at f2.8, which may not be the greatest spot for the Mavic 2 Pro. But still, in order to make it the most compatible and the most similar as possible, we decided here. Now, what do you guys think about this? Because this is really interesting. And honestly, there is no difference in time. As I told you, there may be 5 or 10 minutes difference in sun. And it's interesting to see how the different tones play around with the sun, because it's not like we have less sun when we shot the Mavic Air 2 and it's darker. No, it's exactly the same. So the Mavic Air 2 decided, the sensor and the processor decided to process the image this way, and the Mavic 2 Pro this way, and the Air 2S this way, which is, super interesting, right? Now let's jump into the manual mode. In manual mode, with the same values, the Air 2 image is much darker. For whatever reason, it's the way that this phone processes the information, the sun, the shadows and everything. Now, remember that the Air 2S and the Mavic 2 Pro still have a 1-inch sensor, which means that it's much better for dynamic range, to play around with the lights and everything. Now, I know I may be repeating stuff, but I know it's important. I hope Sony, Canon and Nikon make an entry to the drone market, because it will really give DJI a run for its money. Also, DJI will drop its price for sure when that happens. Right now, I don't see Sony, Nikon and Canon joining. Sony is trying. Sony has developed that amazing drone that is capable of carrying mirrorless cameras like this one, which is a good step, but you gotta think that any brand, if they wanna join the market, they will be probably late, because when the Air 2S is coming out with the latest technology, OcuSync 3.0, a 1-inch sensor, 5.4K, we know that the Mavic 3 is in the making, which will outplay the Air 2S in terms of specs. So if you're Sony right now, you have to be aiming at least for a 8K micro four third sensor. You know, it's not that easy. It's really complicated, and they would be entering a market which is brutally dominated by DJI. And there's hardly a market out there that moves so much money, that is so big, so much dominated by a brand like DJI and the drones. It's like 80% or even more. It's crazy, and it's super difficult. In terms of video transmission, how would you rank the three drones? Well, the Mavic Air 2 has OcuSync 2.0, the Air 2S has 3.0, and the Mavic 2 Pro, if I'm not mistaken, has 2.0 too. Now, they have told us that the 3.0 is better, that it has a better range. It's an enhanced Wi-Fi signal. So in this case, you know, what I said in the review was like, honestly, I don't know if the OcuSync 3.0 is much better than the 2.0, but I would say they are pretty similar. But if there's a difference, the OcuSync 3.0 is promising to give us more range, a better video image transmission. If it's the same as the 2.0, just uncapped, I don't know. Do you think that the Mavic 3 will fly the DJI Fly? I don't know. I honestly don't know, and this is gonna be interesting. I really hope that they forget about the DJI Go 4 app. I hated that app. I really hated that app. So I really hope that they put the Fly. But I don't know. There's been a lot of talk on the DJI forum that manual is not true manual and settings have been changed. And not being locked on figures. You're setting them up by itself sometimes. Me? You mean my video? There's been a lot of talk in the DJI forum that manual is not true manual. How is it not true manual? Do you think that I do I don't know if you're talking about my video, but do you think that I go out there, do a manual and lie to you guys? What would be the point of this? I have no interest at all. I have no interest at all to lie about settings. What would be the point about that? I don't know if you're talking like about other videos or if you're talking about this video, but I can tell you that what would be the point? I don't know. If I would be comparing 3 brands, then I would understand like, okay, you're a DJI fanboy, you may have done this because you want to, you know, the usual thing that I read in the comments. I gotta say that not very often lately, but you hate DJI Fly. I really love the DJI Fly app. It's easy, it's simple, and it's all I need. Is it true that the Mavic 2 Pro has battery issues? Have you experienced one? No, I have not experienced one, but I've read that people are having really a lot of trouble with the minis. I don't know, I have not. You know, the thing is, as I'm always doing comparisons and stuff, I don't really fly a single drone like a lot. So I really jump from one to another, and if I care about, you know, taking for a trip something smaller into my backpack, I use a smaller one, and so I have tons of hours on every single drone, but I'm sure that there are people out there that have more hours on a specific drone. Right? If you guys, let's say you fly the same amount of hours than me, which would be a lot, and I really don't know if you do that, but if you do, and if you do it, if you fly them on 1 or 2 drones, I may be spreading that into 5, 6, 7 drones. Because of the comparisons and the tests and everything that we do, right? You're talking about changing exposure. I think it means the app is changing the settings set by user. I really don't know. No, I don't. I think it means the app is changing the settings by user. Like, I don't know. I make always sure that everything is set to 0, that everything is in neutral, that everything is... So, but still, let's keep going. Awesome, Robert. I'm glad that it helped. Okay, let's talk still about this because it's really interesting. Now I have my notes here. In manual mode, with the same values, the Air2 image is darker. That's true. Let's jump onto the Air2S. HLG. Smart. Oh, hold on. Where's my Mavic 2 Pro? Little bit yellowish tint. That's true. It has a yellowish orange tint, the Mavic 2 Pro. And softer image with less clarity and sharpness. Yeah, that's what I told you before, but I think I can see it even more in the manual mode. What else? This would be this, and overall, it's crazy to see how 3 different drones that are supposed to be using same processors and all that give you such a different image when doing exactly the same. And I understand when seeing this that people may be asking, hey, did you shoot this at the same time of the day? Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. Here's the difference, right? Hi, India! Now, interesting, because eventually you're gonna be guys shooting with this D-Logs, HLGs and all that. Whew. Now, to those guys that may not know what the Cinelike D-Log is, they are different. They're actually different. Some of them are more aggressive. They're different, okay? I don't want to get into technical details because I don't even know if I can explain this in English, but the most important is usually when you shoot in this flat profile images, you're taking off saturation, you're taking off contrast, you're taking off sharpness, and this way you can get more information in the shadows, in the light and all that, and the sensor plays his dynamic range capabilities to the fullest. I don't know if this was... thanks, Fly Zone. See you soon, buddy. Now, I don't know if this was clear, but remember I told you before, for example, on the Mavic Air 2, I was telling you this little tree in the back, I just see a black, you know, a black tree here. I don't see the leaves here. And right now, with the Cinelike, I can see leaves here. And I can see actually leaves on that black tree here. Which is really interesting because this way, and this is why I always recommend filming in Cinelike and all that, even though you're gonna spend more time in post fixing contrast, fixing saturation, and fixing sharpness, which eventually will lead you to destroy your image if you don't really know what you're doing. In case you don't want to spend time learning that, and in case you don't want to spend time, it's much easier to fly in auto. Film in auto, and the image will be normal, it will be good, it will be exposed with a good EV, it will be perfect, right? But if you really want to go pro and if you want to take out the best of your drone, this is the way to go. It's like, and this is the way, and this is what I was saying before when you were asking me, you still don't have the film look on the Air 2. Well, if you start filming in Cinelike, if you know how to use it, if you know how to sharp later, if you know how to use contrast, if you know how to do everything in post, you kind of get out of that cheap smartphone digital look, and you can get close to that Mavic 2 Pro look that is actually giving you out of the camera that drone. Now, on the Mavic Air 2S, hold on, we're on the Mavic Air 2 in manual mode. When LUT applied, this line looks a little bit silent. Okay, we'll see this in a sec. Overall, the Mavic 2 Pro, as we've seen on everything in this test, it's softer. It's softer, it's warmer, it's not bad, you'll have to work with this in the post, right? Slightly off topic, but I flew my Mini 2 into a tree 2 times already, so would you recommend DJI adds crash avoidance sensors for the next DJI Mini? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sensors, you can always turn them off, right? It's not like if you include sensors on a drone, it will prevent you from flying fully manual crazy. No, it's not like this. You can always turn them off. So I do believe that the more sensors and the more safety on your drone, the better. As long as you can always turn that off, of course. Now it gets interesting. Okay? So here Chivo did some curves in order to add the contrast. He added some saturation to get the color back that the flat profile took out of us. Just increased the saturation. He didn't play with the colors or anything. And what now? Now it's really interesting. Because we can see here, probably, even though it's still a little bit yellow, I like the most the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic Air 2 is closer to the final look. It's a little bit warmer. It's true that it's a little bit blue. It's a little bit blue ready, like blue pink, right? Tint. And then the Air 2S is super green. But overall, the best information is still on the Mavic 2 Pro. What do I have here? But the D-Log is super green here also. Green, yellow, yes, when a lot applied. In this case, saturation plus curves. Hold on. Now this is HLG, which is another profile that the Air 2S, the HDR. We're gonna compare this in a sec, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure also that the next Mini is gonna have the obstacle avoidance. Well, if I'm flying in normal mode, the front sensors, I use them. I don't use the back sensors, and if the drone has side sensors, well, on DJI it just works on a beginner mode. And this auto, I gotta say that I turned them off yesterday 2 days ago because we were flying on top, over a river, and there were trees, and it was like a jungle kind of. So it was like really crazy flying with all the sensors, because there was always like a tree or some leaves or something in between, and then you can't really fly, so you end up turning them off. P. Jordy prefers the Air2S because you fell in love with the drone that shot the video with your car, with your classic car, right, Jordy? Now, HLG, HDR, and HLG. This is interesting. This is really interesting because, right, I don't even have to look at my notes. Mavic Air 2 has like this cheap digital smartphone look. So I really have trouble with this. I really have trouble because I really liked way more the Cine-like than the HDR video. I just don't like it, honestly. I'm sorry, but I don't like it. It's too crispy, it's too sharpened. It still gives me this cheap look. I don't like it. I prefer the Cine-like and then work on it in post. Now the Air2S side sensors on the Mavic 2 Pro work in cinematic mode. Yes, cinematic mode is actually the beginner mode, right? I don't know. They have renamed it so many times. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. On the Air2S, HLG is a little bit colder. Greens tend to go to blue. Yes, it's what I told you before. It's really green. Like they pop up the greens for some reason. I mean, you know, guys, you're DJI, you're the engineer, you're the color coder, engineer, scientist, or, you know, and you're in front of the 3 drones and you're watching, and you can actually say, okay, I want this drone to process the greens more. I want this one to process the yellows, the other one the reds, the other one the blues, and all that. Now, you're probably looking to make them different because you don't want exactly the same image on all drones, because in that case you would go for the cheapest one, right? So let's see. And you can play around with that. You can say, you always have to understand that color profiles, the way that the processor works and processes the image is entirely software. Okay, so they can decide whether it goes blue, green. Yeah, at sunsets it's different because we'll talk in a sec about this. We'll talk about in the night shots. But still, the HLG looks. I mean, the quality looks still, even though it's less sharp, it's a little bit, but still look at the dynamic range of everything of the Mavic 2 Pro. It's unbeatable, guys. It's still unbeatable. I mean, there's still a price difference, right? Let me see if I have something else here. Okay, let's jump. I think I said everything. Let's jump into the pictures. Yeah, photos. Hold on. Photos. We have. Well, let's watch it. Now, auto, guys. In terms of looks and design, they are so similar, man. They are really so similar that Air 2 and the Air2S, I'm seeing them here. Look at this. Let me show you. Let me get back to my face because I get this asked also quite a bit. Hold on. Well, I have I can't see myself right now. Mavic to zoom in this case, which is pretty much the same as the Mavic 2 Pro, just the gimbal is different, right? Mavic Air 2. Well, I have this thing because of the GoPro, and the Mavic Air 2S. Come on, guys, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. So I don't care. I really hope that the Mavic 3 has a little bit something different. Oh, tripod is not beginner mode. Beginner mode reduces the height and length you can fly. Okay, yeah, sorry. It's right, Freddy. Sometimes I just get confused. I sometimes get confused with that. Now, getting back here, when I mean, this is pretty clear, right? In auto, full size, like full size of the sensor, let's say. The Mavic Air 2, you can clearly see here on the top. Here, you can clearly see that smartphone look. Like if you have not an iPhone, but also on older iPhones, and generally, I don't know, you have a regular Android, Samsung. I had a Xiaomi before, and this was the look of the pictures, like digital, over-sharpened, digital, cheap. The Air 2S is better. It is actually really good. I really like the photo of the Air 2S a lot. Overall, it's natural, it's neutral, the colors are still in that blue direction, but still, they are good. The sharpness is perfect. There's nothing over-sharpened. You still have good dynamic range in the shadows here. The colors are natural. But then, of course, there's the Mavic 2 Pro that still is a little bit superior. This is probably due to... Let me go back here. This is probably due to Hasselblad because of that color coding that they introduced in the Mavic 2 Pro, right? And this, for me, looks like you can pretty much use that photo and make a poster. Honestly. It's the best looking. It's the... Although... Hold on. No, still, I can see more detail on the Mavic 2 Pro than on the Air 2S, but just a tiny bit. It's not that much better. The colors are more natural and the colors are a little bit better worked out. I don't know how to say that, right? So, but the Air 2S performs really good. And the Air 2, the photo is not the best thing of the Air 2, right? Now, the smart photos and all that. This one is better on the Air 2. Now, hold on, let me see. It's interesting, guys. And again, the stream is in 1080p, so I don't know how much of the detail that I'm talking about you can really actually see on your screen. But I must say, when putting the pics on a video, which I do like more the auto photos than the smart photos and the HDR photo on the Mavic 2 Pro, honestly. I don't know, I would have to see that printed probably, but honestly I like more the auto photos than the smart photos. I mean, the Mavic 2 Pro is, look at this, guys. I mean, this is unbeatable. I'm sorry. It's still... Well, who has the most distortion in terms of photos? Look. The Air 2S, it has a wider field of view and it does distort. Look at this. There's like this chromatic aberration. If you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but on the side of the pictures, it does like stretch it out a little bit and it's a little tiny bit distorted. It's true. It's true. Let's see. The next picture is the Mavic Air 2. This is interesting because it does look better in the corners. The Air 2 photo does look, the smart photo does look better. It's not stretched out. It doesn't have that fisheye effect and that chromatic aberration on the corners like the Air 2S, which is really interesting right now. I didn't really see that before. And the Mavic 2 Pro, the Mavic 2 Pro is like if it was taken, it's perfect. No chromatic aberration at all, no stretchings, no nothing strange. Everything well in focus, sharpened. It's a little bit contrasted, this HDR, but I don't think it happened. Look at this. The HDR does have more light, of course. This will be... Let me jump again. This is auto. Yeah, well, of course, you'll be able to work in Lightroom, Capture One, or whatever software you're using for pictures with the HDR. Sorry, with the HDR and the smart photos. But if you don't know a lot about post and how to play around with the photos and that, out of the camera, if you were to print your landscape, it looks better on auto than on smart photo or HDR. Now again, HDR and smart photo, the case of smart photos no, but the HDR photos of the Mavic 2 Pro, it's HDR, you'll have more information in the picture to work later on, so it's still recommended to shoot in HDR, which would be kind of a raw, right? Smart photos don't have that option. Now let's get to the beef, guys. Let's really get... How about in normal photo mode? It's what I was saying, Robert. The Air 2S, as it is a wider field of view, but this is interesting actually. There is lens distortion. There is really lens distortion here. There really is lens distortion in the corners. A little tiny bit, not too much, but there is, which you don't have on other two photos. This is really interesting, guys. Thanks, Robert, for asking, because any normal photo in auto. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Mavic 2 Pro is really contrasted. It really has a high contrast, the Mavic 2 Pro, but well, still. I hope that this helped. Barrel distortion is bigger on M2P than Air 2S for building. That could be noticeable, but in general, not really. Yeah, we're using drones in the sky, which means that we're far from the objects. This would be more noticeable if we would be filming something like this, actually, that we tested here. Again, I told you, in order to have exactly the same shot, it was much more interesting to have them on the same spot on a table and get a really complicated photo, like I told you in the beginning, like trees and shadows and light and then some sun and then the air and all that. You're welcome, Robert. Now let's get to the beef, because I know this is beef. Okay, now Air 2S, all three drones in 4K 25 in auto mode at the same time of the night. Please don't ask me if they were shot in different times or different hours, because it's exactly the same. And now you'll see what happens with the sky, and it's really interesting, okay? What do you think about this, guys? Look at this. Usually in the night, I mean, when there's low light capabilities is where you can see the real capabilities of the of a sensor, of a camera, right? Now again, the bigger the sensor, just in terms of size, theoretically the better it can handle low light scenarios, because it has more dynamic range and it will be able to make what we're clearly seeing here. Now, it's exactly the same moment. There is maybe 5 minutes between one shot and another shot. Just 5 minutes, okay? So don't tell me that Mavic Air 2 was shot like 3 AM and the Mavic 2 Pro was 8 PM. No, okay? I want to make it really clear. Now, Mavic Air 2, you can clearly see it's crashed. You can't hardly use that footage, but it's normal. The sensor is smaller, the capabilities of that sensor are smaller, the dynamic range is worse than on the other two. Now it's really interesting to see how the Air 2S and how the Mavic 2 Pro have actually been processing the information, okay? I do believe, personally, as I am saying in my notes here, that the Air 2S, maybe like, let me put myself like here. Well, it's a black sky anyway on the Mavic Air 2, okay? For me, the most natural, the best looking in this case is the Air 2S. Case, it's true that it is lacking a little bit of the light of the Mavic 2 Pro right here, but on the Mavic 2 Pro, I don't know if you can see it, there is noise. This means probably in the auto mode the ISO has gone really up and you can see noise, and this is not a good image, guys. 4K 25 auto mode with that sky and that light right now on the Mavic 2 Pro is shitty. It's much, much better on the Air 2S. It's a little bit darker. Hold on. It's a little bit darker, but I prefer it a little bit darker and no noise or less noise. And this looks a little bit more natural to me. Now, the lights in Barcelona are really yellow, really orange. It's not like, I know some cities, it depends on the city, but some city lights are wider and some others are more yellow. In case of Barcelona, it kind of happens like Paris is also like that. They have this tint that you can see right here, more yellow, more orange, right? And the Air 2S has been, in this case, I didn't do it because it's an auto, but it has taken that awful yellow orange light and has given us a really natural light. Now, this is out, and as I told you, even if the Mavic 2 Pro and the Air 2S would have the same sensor and would have the same capabilities, you can decide as a software, as an engineer, as a color coder, I really want to do this way, like the Air 2S, take off a little bit the saturation, keep the ISO a little bit lower, and have less digital noise added. Like the Mavic 2 Pro, this shot is not usable, guys, I'm sorry. There's a lot of noise. Now, super interesting, okay, D-Log. Remember what the D-Log does? And the Cinelike? Flatten the image, take out contrast, take out sharpness, take out saturation in order to have a flat profile and to take out the most in post and to fully show us the potential of that dynamic range capabilities of the drone, of the sensor, of the camera. This is D-Log, but still in auto. Now, it's pretty similar, honestly. We have less saturation here, we have also less contrast, which means that some of the added digital noise of the Mavic 2 Pro is gone, but still, I hope that you can see it. Look at this, it's terrible. The Air 2S doesn't have it. It still has a little bit, but not in that amount. And if you play a little bit in post, you can a little bit reduce that. Okay, let me take a look at my notes again. What did I say here? Best light in night shots. The Mavic 2 Pro, it has the best light, but it has also the most noise. Best D-Log at night, good exposure and low noise. That's true, that's what I told you. But for me still, this shot is not usable. Hold on, let me see. D-Log does not perform that well, same exposure, but we see noise on the Air 2S. I don't really know why I wrote this. For me, it's still better the Air 2S, which is really interesting. The Air 2, we can't really use that, right? We would have to go up in ISO, and this means that we would have, if we want to have the same amount of light on the Mavic Air 2 than on the 2 Pro and on the 2S, we would have so much noise. It's barely usable. For people that have the Mavic Air 2 that want to upgrade, would you recommend them to buy the Air 2S or wait for the Mavic 3 Pro? Definitely wait. That's what I said in the comparison. I don't see really the reason for getting from an Air 2 to an Air 2S. I mean, if you are specialized in night shootings, then maybe yes, to go for the Air 2S, but still, the Mavic 3 will have a larger sensor, it will handle much better the night shots. But again, remember, you gotta have the money, guys. I don't know the price for a Mavic 3, but it's gonna be expensive. We're talking here about something, if it ever happens, that will go close to the 2K. And I'm saying this not because I know it. Again, I don't even know if the 3 is gonna be existing. But if they are upping the prices with everything like the Air 2S, I assume that a Mavic 2 Pro, the Mavic 3 Pro or 2S Pro or something like this will go up from those 15 or 1600s. We're talking here about something close to 1800 or 2K. And if you buy a bundle, it's gonna be expensive, guys. Now, what you guys, let me see if I have still, night shots are just too dark on the Air 2, that's right. I think that's basically it, guys. we've been talking like more than 1 hour about a 3-minute video. That's what I told you in the beginning. It was like, we can take so much info here and we could go still way more into detail. I could be talking much more in detail, but I think that would be too boring. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it takes some time to edit this video, it's true. To shoot it was fast. It was 15, let's say 20, or let's say half an hour, because you gotta get there and unfold everything and that. Half an hour to shoot, but I can tell you that Chivo was editing this video for a few hours. Putting everything right, organizing everything, putting the titles, then comparing it, sharing the screen, splitting the screen, then the night shots and everything. It takes a lot of time. But I really do think that you guys can take a lot of valuable information out of this. And this is why also Chivo is super happy to be doing this kind of post. It's just a 3-minute video, but you can talk for hours about this video. So I really hope, guys, that you enjoyed this video, the comparison, that you could have a better idea of what's going on here. How DJI has been managing very wisely on to give you something on one drone and then avoid it on the next one, and then up the game for the next one, and then leave some room for a Mavic 3 and all that. I think that's the fun part, right? When you kind of analyze all this and play around with it, guess stuff, right? Will Mavic 3 be the new Phantom 5? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Mavic 3 is gonna be existing. Micro Four Thirds on Mavic 3 probably. I think so, yeah. I mean, what was the X5? The X5, the Zenvis X5 that we did test on the Inspire 2 had that. No, was it already APS-C? I don't remember exactly, but Micro Four Thirds, even though I'm not a big fan of Micro Four Thirds, I think they'll go 6K or 8K Micro Four Thirds for sure. You're welcome, Robert. Thanks to you. Great show. Love your videos. Thanks, buddy, for joining. So I really hope that you enjoyed this. Guys, if you want me to react, I'll still be like, let's say 20 more minutes. So I'll have a 20-minute show for you guys. A 20-minute show, a 2-hour show made for you guys. And I really thought it was important to talk about the differences in the 3 cameras. What else? And I told you that I'm moving this to on. I did it this week on Wednesday because tomorrow I'm moving, and I really wanted to do this and not skip a week. And I don't know in the next couple of days if I'll have internet at all. So I thought it was important to. If the price is high, maybe Mavic 3P will have guns. I'm just kidding. No, Mavic 3 will be a blast for sure. But yeah, again, guys, I really hope that I have internet in the next days, so that next Thursday I'll do a regular live stream. I'm waiting for some new interesting interviews, but I will let you know once I have them ready, because I'm still talking. It's not that easy to schedule, and if you're interviewing someone from the US, it's kind of difficult if they are working or if they are, you know. This time of the day is pretty soon in the US right now. So, Mark, can you react on my Mavic Mini Norway cinematic video? Yes, absolutely. I'll react to a couple of your videos, guys. And then you know that the moment I hit the end stream button, I'll turn off everything and I'll start deattaching screens, microphones and everything, and I'll put everything into boxes. So, Mavic Mini, we have it here by John. Guys, remember that I cannot any new DJI FPV video soon. Well, I saw one. But I don't have it ready. I have one thing funny before we go to John. To those that are from Holland, have you guys seen this You know, in one of the canals of the canals they have with water. My friend asked me if the Mavic Pro 1 is still worth it today. Well, yes. If you can get it for a budget-friendly price, they're still good drones, guys. They're still good drones. Just, it's like everything in tech lately. From year to year, they put they give you things telling you that you really cannot live without them. Like, how can you live without a 4K 60? Well, I have been living my entire life without 4K 60 without problems, and I don't really use it that much. So a Mavic 1, thanks Freddy, a Mavic 1 can still be awesome. Don't let brands tell you what you really need and how can you live without it, right? So I wanted to show you this very quick because I thought it was funny, and since we have a lot of Dutch people, look at this. Isn't that insane? Look at this! There's like not even a figure fits in between the super yacht and the bridge. Come on. Look at this. I thought I just saw it in Holland, and since some of you are Dutch, I thought it was funny. That's a fun video of the day, guys. Oh my god, Tommy, hold on. I gotta have that alert coming. I gotta have that alert. I'm gonna make like I haven't seen it yet. Hold on. It's my party boat. Where's my alert?
Tommy, your trade Sky donated 10 Canadian dollars.
Thank you very much, buddy. Look at that sticker. Thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. You deserve this. You deserve this. Thank you very much for the support, guys. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge with you guys. For you guys. Thanks, Tommy. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thanks, buddy, for sharing. Thank you so much for the sticker. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm getting close to that light that I really want to have. Thanks to you guys to send this one into the old house where it belongs. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thanks, buddy. You guys are awesome and you guys are insane. Thank you so much, buddy. I was thinking about the guy that lives here at this window, wakes up one morning. You know, normally you just have some fields in front of you, some houses. You open you open the window and see the second floor of a super yacht. And you go like, okay, I must be crazy. I must be all crazy, right? This is insane, man. Look at this. Look at this. There's like nothing in between. Come on. But they managed to do it. Where is this? I have no idea. Where is this? North Sea? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't say. Of course. This nice description. 94 meters long. It is the largest possible vessel which can pass through. This is insane. It's great, guys. It's great. Yeah, no, it's the Netherlands. It is the Netherlands. I just don't know where exactly. Drone Viral, you've been missing the last minutes. I said like 3 times. Dutch people in my chat. Price of the yacht? Probably 15 or 20 millions, at least. You can buy a bunch of drones with that money. So let's get back to new. I was saying I will react maybe to a couple more videos. I cannot see the links if you paste them in the chat. So you gotta either tell me the name of the video, like exactly, like for example, this video would be Norway 4K cinematic. You can just copy paste the name of the video and put it in the chat. Then I will see Bill Gates visiting. Then I will see the name and I can copy paste it into YouTube. Or you can say it's in my channel, so I can copy. I can actually go directly into your channel through the chat and see the name or whatever. It's not that I don't like to see the links in the chat. It's that you stick to my kayak. It's that YouTube, for whatever reason, probably for spamming reason, decides not to show the links of the people. One thing, what about the music, John? Because, well, whatever. Okay, Dustin, I'll check it. Okay, hold on. This is the Mavic Mini. This is the Mavic Mini. Look at this, guys. Really awesome. Ooh. Nice sound effect added of the boat. Hold on, let me see if I can... Sorry for this. Let me see if I can put it a little bit higher quality. Well, this is taking a bit too long. Hold on. Now. Wow. Okay, it struggles. Hold on. It struggles. It's struggling. Okay, no. It's not possible right now. Sorry, John. I should have sticked. Look at John! This is John! Hello, John! Okay, I seem to be having some issues with the connection. You guys know, right now I don't have... I took even away the Wi-Fi and everything, so the router, I'm on my phone, so... Well played with their speed ramp. Nice. Nice. Guys. Absolutely, Louis. at him. He goes sleeping. John, John, how old are you, buddy? This is pretty insane, man. Like last live stream, the video that we reacted was already amazing. Is this the mini one? I mean, is this the mini one? 15. Oh, Jesus. This is amazing, buddy. This is really great. There's not much that I can say because the thing is, guys, it's a mini. Even if it's a mini 2, doesn't matter if it's a mini 1 or a 2. For a great piece of art, you don't really need to have the best drone. You don't need to have the best. Oh man!
Robert Bendana donated 49 pesos.
Thank you very much, Robert. Thanks so much, buddy. You deserve a dance that I'll give you in a sec. Thank you very much for the sticker and the super chat. Just to finish off with, look at this, Mini 1, guys. Wi-Fi signal. I've seen that people were complaining about, sensors and all that stuff. It's Mini 1, guys. And you can create art with a Mini 1, and it doesn't really matter if you don't have a Mavic 2 Pro or an Inspire 300. It doesn't matter, because all you need to do is have the talent, hard work, know how to edit. This little 15-year-old man. I mean, of course, the location is amazing, right? The location is amazing, but he plays very, very well with the music. Look at this. Isn't that great? We're in the mountains, then the music makes like boom, and he goes like a speed ramp. So there's a sensitivity with the audio that I really, guys, recommend you to start playing around with audio, because audio gives you that. Look at this. I mean, look at this. The music. And then it goes up, the music is like into the first verse, for example, and we're somewhere completely different. And this helps you to tell a story. This is really amazing, guys. He goes to the beat. It's great. The music goes down, he goes to a different location. Clouds. The music is slow, we have a way more like... this is just, I don't know. How much subscribers? 36, guys. There's hidden talent. I really recommend you, John Nolting. Let me just copy his channel here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the link in the chat? I just gave you John Nolting's channel in the chat. Go out there and sub to him. This is some hidden talent. New video every Friday. Okay, I didn't know. By the way, I'm really curious to see this one. Okay, John. But this will be next live stream. Okay. Right now I have who asked Dustin. Oops. Dustin. You said you have. New intro on your channel. No new intro. Okay, let's check this out, guys. Okay, great, Dustin. This is still filmed with your what drone was it? I don't remember. It's good, man. Thank you for sharing. I see a little bit much better than last time. So taking out the best of your footage, Dustin, is always great. Now, guys, when you're doing an intro, you're doing especially intros. If you want to have like a 10-second intro, like last time I told you, right, Dustin, that it was too long, there was some effects and all that. He's done it very good, and he just took the best of his footage, he put it together. Now he said that he's adding some music for the next export or whatever. So this is gonna be much, much better. So congrats, Dustin, thanks for sharing. You deserve the sticker, my man. Thank you for the stream. It was really helpful. Thanks, Robert, buddy. Thank you for the help. Thank you for the support. I really hope that you guys learned. Thanks for Robert, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you, guys. For today, I think I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm gonna leave some music for you guys. I thank you for joining, everyone. Leave the thumb if you have not done it yet. This helps me a lot. Thanks to all the super chats, of course. You have a place in my small, cold rock heart. Rave time. Yeah, and nothing really else to say, guys. It's been 2 hours. I really hope that you enjoyed the content. I really gotta pee. Sorry, it's true. It's like, you know. So I'll leave some music, and that will be it. Thank you guys a lot for joining. Next Thursday, if everything goes as planned in my new place, I have to build up the studio. I'll have to see if I have the good connection. But I really hope that in 8 days, I mean, I'm moving tomorrow, and tomorrow is Thursday and Friday. So for the weekend and the first Monday, Tuesday, I'll be working on my studio. I still have to edit some videos for WeTalkTV, and I really hope that I have everything ready for Thursday. So, guys, thank you for joining. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tommy. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for wishing me good luck. I'll put you some music in the background. You know what happens. And nothing really else to say, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed, that you learned something, but that you got entertained. And this has been for today. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love Thank you, guys. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. We've got a million miles ahead of us. Miles ahead of us. And all we need is a rude awakening to know we're good enough. Know we're good enough. Say go through the darkest of days. Heaven's a heartbreak away. Never let you go. Never let me down. Always been a hell of a ride. Driving the edge of a knife. Never let you go. Never let me down. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. I used to believe we were burning on the edge of something beautiful. Something beautiful. Selling a dream. Smoking mirrors keep us waiting on a miracle. On a miracle.
Where have you been? 'Cause I'll never see you out. Are you hiding from me? Yeah. Somewhere in the crowd. Oh.
You guys know that I always come back, right?
You've been searching for, you've been there.
This is just... I only come back to say goodbye, guys, you know it. Thanks, it's been a pleasure. I am feeling much better now. Nothing really else to say, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this stream. I'm glad you like it, Eric. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining. I lift the song till the end and then close the stream. Thank you for staying. Thank you for thank you for writing. Thank you for staying in the chat. I appreciate it a lot, guys. Now enjoy this awesome mix, guys. This is for you guys, for every one of you.